will have a conversation about breaking generational trauma today. I wanted to talk about this subject for a while. Every time I brought up this subject in my own environment, I felt resistance, as if I was talking about something that is taboo, something that is in the shadow and it should stay in the shadow, because what happened in the past should stay in the past. It's no longer here. But what happened in the past is still very much present with a lot of us. I have a Caribbean background, and it is now 151 years since my own ancestors have been freed from slavery. Even though the land is physically free, on an energetic level, oppression still lives with many. And I was not aware of this fact until I went to my own ancestral healing. So anyone who tells you that the past is in the past and it should stay in the past is straight up gaslighting you. Don't gaslight yourself into believing that you have to oppress anything that feels not right or not in alignment with yourself. Listen to your truth. Listen to your feelings. Listen to your intuition. Because if you allow yourself to be gaslighted, you allow yourself to become disconnected from source. You allow yourself to become disconnected from the universe and from whatever wants you to flow in the direction that it's trying to get you in. And only by following your voice within you, you will be able to free yourself. Speaking about generational curses, a curse is not something that is right now summoned upon you by something or someone that's outside of you. If you feel as if someone or something outside of you cursed you, you are unconsciously giving your power away to that very being. No one outside of you can heal you. That also means that no one outside of you can harm you unless you give them the power to, because what you believe will turn into your reality. If you believe that someone cursed you, you will be cursed because that's how you will feel. There is absolutely no one outside of you that can heal you. People can guide you, but no one outside of you can free you. So, a generational curse is something that is within you. And that is because you are part your mother, part your father, part your grandparents, and so on. So you carry the DNA of all the generations that came before you, which means you are a byproduct of everything and person that came before you, and you carry their DNA with you. So everything that they have not been able to heal during their lifetime is energetically passed on to the generations that come after them. And it will be passed on and passed on and passed on, and slightly some things will fade. There is always improvement, right? Our parents always try to do things better than their parents, and that's how the cycle continues. But that doesn't mean that the generational trauma fades and stops with you, unless there is someone in that line who decides it ends with me. No more suffering, no more pain. And I'm sure your ancestors suffered already. They do not want you to suffer. Feeling as if you are cursed is living from a state of fear. And fear is one of the lowest vibration that there is. Love can be found by embodying who you are, by standing in your truth, being authentically you, and being unstoppable for anyone outside of you who tries to influence your truth. To give you an extreme example of how people are not their true self and are basically just a byproduct of a program and continuing the same cycle that the generations before them already went through. I have watched this documentary in the past. It's something about be sweet, obey, and I was shocked. This documentary is about a cult, and in this cult, young girls are forced to marry an older man. And this man, I don't know how many women he had, but he had a whole city as wives. And they were taught that this man was the Messiah and the Messiah would never die. So when this man eventually died, they were shocked because the Messiah would never die, right? But even though they were now faced with the truth, they resisted the fact that their life was a lie, and they kept believing in the truth that they were taught. And for an outsider, it is sickening to see. We see that it's dangerous, we see the manipulation, but for an insider, it is their normal. You cannot blame or shame an insider because it's their normal. They don't know better. And the same goes for all of us. We have been programmed one by one, and maybe not in extreme cases as in this cult, but we have been programmed. And this program came from our parents and the ones that came before them. But our program is not our truth. And that's why we have feelings. That's why we have intuition. That's why we feel resistance to when something doesn't sit right with us. And when you feel as if something sits not right with you, believe that. Trust that. Learn to self-trust. Learn to self-trust, because only by learning how to self-trust, you will be able to free yourself. Until that very moment, your external environment will still control you. And it is up to you to free yourself. No one can heal you. You are the only one who can heal yourself. So, what helps with breaking generational traumas is understanding the cycles that you are in. It's understanding the pain and the suffering that you are going through. And especially if it's a repeating cycle and it's a pattern, become really aware of that pattern. Write it down. Write that pattern down. And sit with it, but also try to figure out if your parents went through the same cycle. Try to figure out if your parents did the same. Maybe on another level, on another scale, but try to figure out if your parents did the same. And then try to figure out as well if your ancestors maybe went through the same or did the same. If it's difficult for you to get the answers, it might be an idea to look at pictures. Look at pictures from your grandparents. Sit with them. It might be an idea to talk with one of your parents if they are still here, or maybe another family member. But understand your history. Because what they kept hidden back then is important for us to bring to the light if you want to free yourself. Stop repeating the same cycle. And if you need guidance on your own ancestral healing or breaking generational trauma, you can search for guidance. But always remember that there is no one outside of you who can heal you. You have the ability to heal yourself. Someone can guide you, but no one has the power to take away your pain, your suffering. Find your core back. Listen to yourself. Listen to the whispering of the universe. And break free of whatever is holding you down. Or if you have any questions or would like to hear me about any other subject or maybe something else on the same subject, let me know and I will see you in the next video.